amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin and Cam Water.
For the first time here for season 3. Davis on pole, Vandergren in second. It's going to be sprint round action here tonight. Let's go racing here at Daytona. It was a good start there from Davis in comparison to Vandergren in behind. Cowan's absolutely bogged it up and already dropped out of the top 3 here as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. There's biffing and barging between Gallen and Cowan. These guys are still going at it after last season. They survived for this time by though. Through turn 2 and 3 they come. Nice and clean, boys. Keep it up as they come up to...
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride,
ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Through turn 1, it was a horrible start from De Bono, who's absolutely bogged it up and gets eaten alive by Dixon and Gowans as they come on through. Through turn 1 they come, and they all spread out around in towards the first sector of the Silverstone circuit. They look all right at the moment. Okay, there's already been a car spun round. That's Jordan Ferguson offline.
Is green at Road Atlanta here as well. Faulkner did get away. De Bono is tucked in as well. Unfortunately, Houghton is on that outside line. De Bono does want alternative turns. He's got the job. De Bono's overtaken. Now can he get Ben Faulkner up through turns 2 and 3? They go round the right-hander, dropping down the hill. Faulkner's out in front. De Bono second. Houghton third. Ratcliffe in fourth. No real dramas going into turn 1.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to snip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Reece Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's pretty scary out there. But, let's see if he gets a good run. Dodds just absolutely think about it. Really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SRW TV, and welcome into the MOZA Racing Super Formula Championship for round 4 of season 1 of 2025. Out here this evening at Snetterton Race Circuit for the 300 layout here this evening. I'm your commentator Hamish Munro, joined as always by my co-host Jack Anderson. Jackos, big night of racing to come, a big wet night of racing to come. We've come to England and it's turned the weather on for us as we've had some wet practice happening. With a wet track out there leading into qualifying very, very soon, could we maybe see the clouds return for a rainy night on circuit here at Snetterton?
Yeah, it has been pretty wet so far, and the word is that apparently it'll be dry or no more rain for the rest of the night, so that'll be interesting to see the strategy play out as drivers decide whether they want to just drive on wet to dries or if they want to risk it on dries, and it'll spice things up for sure.
Well, I think what else it's going to change is how much water has been dispersed through practice and then through qualifying as well. You can see on some of the static cams, there is some pooling water on the inside of some of these tougher hairpins around this course here in Snetterton. So there is a definite dry line starting to form. You can see there as multiple cars head off the circuit in towards the infield portion. Actually, that might be around the last corner. It was around the last corner. So we could see a lot of carnage happening because of this, because of that standing water is still there by race start. A lot of drivers may find they need to start on wets and then eventually get onto the dries as this race goes on this evening. So it's pretty imperative that drivers have got their wet practice in, that they've taken the time to practice tonight. The good news for them is, as you mentioned, it's no more rain on the horizon currently. We've got a normal round on offer for tonight though. Jackal's the first one we've had ever since Sebring at the start of the season. 60 minutes of racing for these drivers here tonight for Snetterton, so plenty of time for this track and this water to develop and this water to disperse. Eventually we should be on dry tyres, you would assume, towards the end of this race, because the water's going to disperse throughout the rest of practice, which is only about 6 seconds left, but then also through qualifying and through the first portion of the race as well. We'll start off though with our points currently, how they stand for the amateurs, the pros, and the pro-ams as well. Starting off with the pros at the moment, Giuliano Sinise leads the way on 338 points after drop rounds. He is 1 point ahead of Darren Fay in P2, with Danny Davidson P3 on 306. Sorry, no, the drop rounds are not in the correct order. It messes with my mind when they don't do that. So Danny Davidson, after a drop round, leads the title race on 362 points. Then it's Giuliano Sinise on 338. Then it's Darren Fay on 337. Then it's Doug Gowans on 331. And the P5 in the championship is Tom Donoghue. So the top 5 are in their correct sort of grouping, but they're in the wrong order because of the points before the drop round. So some drivers are giving up more points than others with their drop round to this stage. And we've got Brandon Levin, Dylan DeBono, Jordan Mazzaroli, Jamie Davis, Ray Oliver, Ryan Mueller, David Gallo, Stephen Banks, Sam Katakazinas, and Harry Dodds. So they've all somewhat been around the bubble for this season thus far, but realistically it's becoming a 5 to 6 car race at the moment for this championship in the pros. So then move on to the pro-ams. We currently have at the top of the pro-am standings Ben Brook on 294 points. Not too far behind him on 280 is Nick Martin at this stage, and then behind them, sorry, Nathan Verney's. Why, Jackals? Why do drop rounds have to not be in the correct order? This is messing with my mind already. So it is Ben Brook in P1, and then Nathan Verney, who's actually missed a round already, so he has a 0 for a drop round, is on 287 in P2 of the championship. Then it's Nick Martin on 280 points in behind. Then we've got Cal Rosanita on 242. Then it's Tim Schmalenberg on 238. And then it is Mitch Noble in 230 for the top 5 of that title race. Sean Bonici's only 1 point behind Mitch Noble. For the amateurs at this stage, it is the Josh King Show. 228 points, Jackos. And, well, the only real contender he's got at the moment is Kevin Wakefield, who took his first win of the season for the AMs in round 1, and he's currently on 204 points coming into this 4th round.
Yeah, it seems like he's got a pretty comfortable gap, but then at the same time, anything can happen in this in a split second. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the rest of the season, and you never know. Someone just could come out of nowhere and just put a challenge.
Just take it out. Take out what could be their championship. So Ben Brook, so let me just double check. He was classified as a Pro-Am in those standings, I'm pretty sure. So that means we need to change some things. We need to change his class from Pro down to Pro-Am. So we're going to have to do some housekeeping as qualifying is happening to change some drivers' positions and also change their classes as well. So because they've all roughly changed now because of the class lock-ins of some drivers over the last week or so. That means that he's there. Nick Martin is also now Pro-Am as well. And then any others that we come across will make the significant changes too as well throughout the night too. Dylan DeBono, though, he had some good pace in practice, although he did set his lap time before the track got ultra wet out there. So we'll see what his true pace is here in qualifying, and if anyone is able to match him as well. Hasn't had as well of a run so early on in the season, Jackos, is what he had last season, where he was on a multitude of wins already by this point and leading the title race. This season, he's not quite up to scratch of what has previously been for him in the championship standings, at least.
Sorry, I've heard all of the in-game radios. I'm gonna have to turn that down more.
That's understandable. It's understandable. Of course, we've got our race controllers out there. They will be announcing those penalties to drivers all throughout the night if they do receive any across the night of racing as well. So we'll be keeping an ear out for those mentions from race control, of course, as well. So we'll be trying to keep a proper tight ear on it. I don't see any, as DeBono has made a mistake further back in the field. Is he on dries? He is on dries. So some drivers in this qualifying session, Jackos, or majority, are actually attempting the dries at the moment. I think a few on wets. Harry Dodds is one of them at the moment, the privateer in the field. Sean Benici is another one. Kevin Wakefield's on the wets. Kaya Philho, who returns to the series tonight, is on wets, as is Steven Sinkovic. Everyone else is on dries at the moment, as Davison goes P1, 141.75. Dean Sinkovic, 142.61. We'll see how long, though, that lap time stands for Dean. What a world it would be, Jackos, if Dean Sinkovic were to start on the front row. That would be incredible.
Oh, that would be another thing that he can hold against his brother, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be, especially in the SFLs. Oh, my God, that is a wild off track for Matt Gerard. Wow, wowee. There's a heap of more drivers crossing the line, so a multitude of different lap times from drivers out there as well. Got some chats already with us. Andrew Rushworth in the chat with us. Great to have you out there. Sean Benici, this is going to be chaos. There's a burst of rain in the feature. Well, there's only one race tonight, Sean. It's only a 60-minute race, so maybe there's a burst towards the end, possibly. I don't know. Revs Martin in the chat as well. Evening all. Kind of glad I couldn't make it tonight. It's going to be a slippery as a cake of... Hang on, this look like it's auto texted for us. To as slippery as a cake of soap in the bathtub. I'm going to assume bar of soap in the bathtub is what was the intended message from Mr. Martin there. As Darren Fahey gets further up the order. Jordan Mazzaroli into the 40s. He's already proven his pace here, Jackals. It seems that the dries are pretty optimum at the moment. Possibly it's worth the risk. And the more that they drive around on these dry tyres, the more used to the conditions they're going to be for the race start. And of course, there is some really, really good little dry patches as well.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's the tyre to be on. So yeah, hopefully, if there is a little splash of rain, a little drizzle, it should spice things up, which is what we want to see.
Well, it could have also then you know, it could change some of the strategies of some drivers, you know, if they run a wet setup or if they want to run a dry setup during this race. You know, that might come quite abrupt at them if they're running on the dry setup and it starts to drizzle once again. Josh King at the moment has now gone P9 in the standings. The current AM championship leader, of course, Nick Martin, just pips him as he leads. I believe that's Andrew Proctor in behind him across the start-finish line here in qualifying. The current championship leader overall, Giuliano Sinise. Where does he sit at the moment? He's P3 at this stage for Sinise. So he's been keeping it clean all season, relatively speaking. Jack had a tough run at Mid-Ohio, but looks to just keep on solidifying solid points gains, solid points finishes. And that is what wins titles in the SFLs. It's those consistent top-end finishes. You don't have to win every single round, but if you can stay consistent and keep yourself out of trouble, at least for 8 rounds out of the season, including the last round, you can win a title. And it's been proven by David Gallo, been proven by Dave Roberts. It's possible to do. And for Giuliano, he has had a great start this season in terms of keeping it clean, and it's worked for him, and it's proven on the scorecards at the moment, because he leads that title race coming into this round. And if he can have a strong round here tonight and his other compatriots have a poor run, well, it's even more points that he'll be gaining on them.
Yeah, exactly right. You just gotta make sure that you have some good results. You don't have to win out there, as you said, and you just gotta finish up towards the top half or so, and just score some nice points each round, and you'll be sweet.
Yes, that'll be Mitch Noble in the chat. I heard Mitch has a tribute on his Halo. Should definitely look at it. Okay, well, let's find Mr. Noble out on track. Mitch. Okay, so that's why Mitch wanted to know where to put things on the Halo earlier today, Jack.
Yeah, I think it was last night. But yes.
Last night, yeah. Mitch doing Mitch things. It's a saying that will go down in infamy now. Of course, starting on pole last week and then bottling it, which he's done a couple of times now, but he's had great races in heats because he gets himself to P10, which then gets him the pole for the feature. It's just unfortunate. He just has to try and maximise his starts and try and get consistent running early in a feature race, and he'll be coming up trumps. So that's the only thing he's really got to work on for Mitch Noble, is bettering those feature race tactics a little bit. Oh my God, he caught that puddle there, nearly lost it. Lucky to catch it for Mitch Noble. So, I mean, Mitch doing Mitch things, Jack Oz. He knows what he has to fix, though. He knows what he has to work on, at least.
Yeah, if he finishes in P10 tonight, you know that's definitely his strategy. He had a massive spin out of one.
Well,
and
now Mitch is doing sinker things. He's just spinning in the SRW car, so you have to get those tyres cleaned up. Was that Doug Gowans off the road then? It looked like it was. As Dean Sinkovich goes P10, P1 for the AMs. Where has the pace come from Dean? What has happened? I mean, he got his maiden victory in the AMs not too long ago this season. Is Dean Sinkovich fired up for a championship possibly?
Oh, he definitely seems like he's starting to lay claim to a championship run. So that'd be quite interesting. It'd be quite nice to see.
Well, there'll be no longer fire up Jake Edwards fans. There'll be fire up Dean Sinkovich fans every time people get into the chat, as Matthew Fu, or as Sinker likes to call him, Matthew Poo, by mistake on the GR86 broadcast, goes P1 now, just gets past Dean. So Matt finding some pace in this car tonight, and has now found it in qualifying as well. Just has to try and keep it neat and tidy here this evening. He struggled with that last week out at Zolder in his debut, so we'll see how well he can improve upon that tonight at Snetterton for the 60-minute race around the 300 circuit this evening. Jason Depp is currently your Pro-Am pole sitter. He's P8 on the road overall. Dylan DeBono sits top of the timesheet with a 139.4 in P1 on the road. Then Tom Donahue and Jamie Davis, your top three at this stage. Both cars 25 and 663 have got rear of grid penalties tonight, Jackos. That is Nick Schmalenberg and Matt Tesseriero, I believe, for towing without permission last week at Zolder, and that's why they've got rear of grids.
Yeah, exactly. And what a coincidence, isn't it, that it's raining and Captain Depp is up in the standings.
Well,
so
where is Stephen? He's not even
He's-
set.
he's
He's not
to be-
set a time. He should be in P1. The Titanic should be
Hey,
up in P1.
you know that the Titanic was a bit slow to make it to its destination.
It was pretty quick to
It's-
go
it's,
down though.
We're still waiting on it to arrive its destination. So
Oh, it was so bad that they had to send a search party out last year, and they haven't even made their destination, unfortunately. So,
no, we heard they're still out there looking.
yep, they're still looking. That was atrocious. And Sinker ends it up off the road. So is he trading icebergs for grass at this point as Mazzaroli comes across the line, goes straight to the top, 138.58. So there's some pace on this circuit, Jackos. It's getting drier and drier, but that first sector, you can see the spray still incredibly wet on that part of the circuit. So they have to take it easy through the first sector. That's then when it starts to dry and they can really start to push once again.
Yeah, exactly. It just seems like people are going to have to tippy-toe through that little section until it completely dries. One thing I have noticed on the side of Mazzaroli's car, is that a Tickford badge on the side of his side pod?
It would be, because it would be, they would have transferred the probably the supercar livery of Martin Lipsky onto this car. Which then makes me wonder, does the Chevrolet Camaro that Alan Mazzaroli was driving for a period, did that have the Tickford logo on the side of it too?
My only thought is, is he maybe affiliated with Tickford, like a mechanic or something, like our mate Michelson?
Well, no, because Jordan works with Mark.
Does he?
He does. He actually does. Jordan works with Mark.
Ah, right. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, he Mark told me the first round he noticed Jordan's name and he mentioned that he works with him. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a wild run wide. That little detail. 1 degree of separation for us, but DeBono has now pipped Mazzaroli's time, 138.49 for Dylan DeBono. Mazzaroli, of course, got put up into pro class after some exceptional runnings this season for himself. DeBono wants this title as well. He never got it in 2024. He was hungry, he was determined, but he never got there in the end. He just wants and yearns for this MOZA Racing Super Formula Championship title next to his name. As he goes even better, 137.98 for Dylan DeBono that time by. And now he pushes on further and further as Davison finds some pace as well. P3. Donohue's now responded. So the track is getting faster, Jackals, and more quick lap times are coming in from the regular fast boys that we kind of assume would be at the front of qualifying. As DeBono, Donohue, Mazzaroli, Davison, Gowans, and Sinise, your top 6 for pro. Then it's Mitch Noble, P1 for the Pro-Am. Keegan Caldwell goes P2 in the Dying Embers. Jamie Davis and then Matt Gerard makes up the top 10 for the top 3 of the Pro-Am as well. Davis, the 7th pro inside of the top 10 with only a couple of seconds left for drivers to start another lap here in qualifying. It's going to be the final run for the majority who are on the infield at this stage. But if there's anyone who can cross the line in the next 5 seconds, they will at least get one more lap in qualifying. As Smalenberg just crosses the line, so there'll be a few more times to come as DeBono's pulling over. That is qualifying done and dusted for him. Donohue maybe will hope to improve. Mazzaroli, though, on an incredible run to the start-finish line, goes pole, 137.8. So DeBono gave up too early, Jackos, and now he's lost pole position to Jordan Mazzaroli. There's only a couple of drivers out there who could challenge this spot, but Gowans is on a purple and a green at the moment. Could the FTR driver go top? As he comes around towards the start-finish line on a personal best in the second and a session best in the first. Doug Gowans crosses. Does he go 37? No, he goes P3 with a 138.42. Car 033 pit lane start here this evening. Giuliano Sinise, he can set another time. So who is 033? I think that is Kevin Wakefield. He'll have a pit lane start. So could Sinise possibly get straight to the top of qualifying as Caldwell improves to P7. Brooke into the top 10 as well. Tim Schmalenberg's on for a personal improvement. Sinise, though, has got a personal best and at least as good, or if not worse, in the second. But this is a high-pressure end to qualifying, Jackals. These are big laps these guys are having to set.
It is, and would you say that they're having a big sound at the west of the town, Hamish?
Is Snetterton to the west? If it is, that's a great joke. If it's not, that's, questionable.
Sure it is.
It's westerly.
It's the west of somewhere.
It's west. It's west of Paris. We know that. There is a big sound coming, and it's 60 minutes of racing with just under 40 SFLs on track. Sean Bonici saying rain early in race. Do you want to have a look at the radar, Jackos, and see if there's any rain looming its head just yet?
There definitely is. It's saying there is 100% precipitation in about 15 minutes time.
Oh, very interesting. So,
and it is slightly lightish dark green and then a little patches of yellow. So that'll be a bit heavier than we saw earlier.
So could it possibly be with the time jump that the rain comes a little bit earlier in the race?
Quite possibly.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be 10 minutes, around 10 or maybe 5-6 minutes into the race with the 3-minute gridding time.
Oh, very interesting. But I would say probably not worth starting on wets. I think it's probably best just to start on those dries. The track has been drying out. Harry Dodds is risking it. He's looking to start on wets at the moment. But the starting grid for this race is as follows. Jordan Mazzaroli will start pole position alongside Dylan Tabono on the front row with Doug Gowans and Giuliano Sinise in behind. Tom Donahue and Danny Davidson for your top 6, with your top 4 of Pro-Am lining up in behind them of Keegan Caldwell, Jason Depp, Ben Brook and Mitch Noble for the top 10. Jamie Davis and Nick Martin will then start on the 6th row of the grid. Matt Gerard, Brandon Levin, they'll start just ahead of Josh King, who is once again pole for the amateurs inside of your top 15. Martin Lofthouse, Tim Schmalenberg, Sam Katakazinis, your top 18 cars. Nathan Verney, Callum Rosanita for your top 20 with Matthew Few, Darren Fay, Dean Singovich and Kaya Filho for your top 24. Brad Hudson, Cam Hardwick, Sean Bonici, Greg Johnston, Andrew Cowan and Jordan Ferguson, your top 30 with Harry Dodds, Kurt Heath, Andrew Proctor, Kevin Wakefield for your top 34 cars. Matt Tesseriero has a rear of grid alongside Nick Schmalenberg and Stephen Sinkovich, and starting at the back end of the field as well. Our race control, Tyson McAvoy, Mark Cochran and Greg Leake here this evening. So a couple of drivers will be starting further and further back. I believe Wakefield also has a pit lane start for penalty 2. So it appeared that Sinker struggled to set a time in qualifying, so he'll start towards the back. A couple of drivers have rear of grids. Others have pit lane starts as well. Oh, so what might be the strategy here, Jackos? Do you start on wets and hope that it does end up raining fairly soon, or do you go for the guaranteed option of it's currently dry, we don't exactly know how heavy the rain's going to be and how soon it's going to take for the track to get to classified as wet by the iRacing spotter, so we should just start on dries?
Yeah, I would not risk, well, it's not really a huge risk because it is going to rain, but I wouldn't start on the wet tyres, seeing that it is going to be about maybe in between 5 and 10 minutes of dry running, so you'll lose enough time or too much time if you start on the wets, and it'll overheat the tyres too much, which wears them a lot more, which means they won't last as long as the people that go in and change to wet in a pit stop. So it's not really worth it.
And realistically, if you come in for those wets early, you tell that early pit stop as lights are going to go up. We're going to go racing. We'll talk about this in a quick moment here. Mazzaroli on pole, De Bono P2. We are underway at Snetterton for an hour of racing in the MOZA Racing Super Formula Championship. That spray is still there into turn 1. They need to be careful on cold tyres and under brakes for those who have started on the dry tyre as they run down towards turn 2. It is a scramble still as Ben Brook is in amongst the battle already. Nick Schmalenberg's dropping a couple of spots, but Mazzaroli has had an incredible start at the front of the field and looks to continue to drag them forward as Kaya Filio has had an off-track early at turn 2. He has returned to circuit though, so nothing wrong with that one. Wakefield starting from pit lane as mentioned. Matt Gerard off the road. There's been a big crash in the background. He's spun round. Rosenita's involved too. It's a massive gaggle of cars that have been caught up down there. And Gerard is the one that is having to wait the longest, but there are pieces of car there, Jack Oz. So someone has been caught out as the championship leader for the AMS. Josh King goes round without the rear wing.
That is a very
interesting Super Formula Light, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks more like a Formula Ford at the moment.
I was going to say,
so
Formula Ford. Oh, and then
I would not recommend no rear wing.
No, Lofthouse has also now gone round as well. You can see him just through the barriers there. Has to get it going once again. So we'll track back through these incidents as the first lap is about to come to an end very shortly. So let's quickly suss some of these up. Let's pick a good angle there for these because we want to try and see them, of course. So big chaos early on. Track still a little bit dampened from the rain, but the dry tyres are still the correct choice for a lot of drivers in the field at the moment. It all started turn 1. Kaya Filio off the road, and I believe it was just on exit. So wide line, slightly dampened, catches a big puddle. Very lucky not to end up spun round, just ran it straight down the grass, then came back on track. And this was Matt Gerard's moment down in towards the infield. This is at turn 4. So we had Jamie Davis in behind, under brakes, tried to pull it up, lucky not to make collision. I believe that was one of the SRW cars actually crashed into his own teammate. And you can just see the amount of stop-start it was, seeing as the cars there spun round. This was Davis though, so he had Ben Brook just ahead of him. Yeah, Matt Gerard. So you'll see Gerard go. Davis sends it up the inside. Oh, he went into the back of his own teammate, Brandon Levin.
Yeah, it just seems like he might have caught the puddles on the inside there and aquaplaned as he applied the brake. Very unfortunate. Hopefully not too much damage to that car.
And this was Lofthouse down at turns. This was still at turn 4, so that's the domino effect. Yeah, that's the domino effect there for Josh King and Martin Lofthouse as well. So a couple of moments for some drivers. There have been others, including Keegan Caldwell and Jason Depp. At the moment, I'm unsure if the safety car has been called because there has been just a multitude of cars and incidents being reported on the report here. But this was Caldwell. He had Depp all right behind him, nowhere to go.
Or a little bunny hop for good measure.
Little bunny hop for the camera, you know, just show us what you got. And this was Harry Dodds as well. Oh, big spin. Big spin for Dodds. Lucky not to get caught out. And then Cowie has just been caught up in something too. So a multitude of cars getting taken out of this race thus far very early on, but Mazzaroli has set the pace early here. 137.99 is the pace for the leader. De Bono not quite matching him on those lap times at the moment. Sinise up into P3, the championship leader. Doug Gowans, Danny Davidson, your top 5. Donahue, Noble, Martin, Levin and Brook, your top 10. It's been a good start from Martin. He started P11, Jack Oz, and he's already up inside the top 10. This is a great job.
Yeah, it is. It's good to see him pick off a couple spots, and got to give it to Nick Schmalenberg too. He's up 16 positions. I think he's doing a brilliant job so far in P22. And he's got a vicious battle back behind him by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's all being led by Dean Sinkovich. He's got Matt Gerard, Matt Cesariero. Jordan Ferguson is in a tight battle with Kaya Filio in behind him as well. So there's all sorts of battles happening all throughout the field. Just a quick little tyre compound check for you. Benici is still on those wets, but he's not actually dropping too much time. So I reckon he's at least getting the benefits in the wetter sections of this track. But they are going to keep on drying out as Jono's gone round as well at what appears to be turn 1. So he's had a big traverse out into the grass. Get him some mower blades, and he might as well do the work of the groundskeeper as he comes out right in front of the leaders in towards turn 2. Lucky that Mazzaroli had incredibly good reaction skills there to take evasive action.
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning Harry Dodds is on the wets as well, and I believe the Lofthouse on the wet. That's it.
We do apologise for the blinking. There must be a heap of stuff on the road.
Carbon.
Yeah, a heap of carbon.
A lot of carbon.
Yeah, a lot of carbon on the road.
Andrew Proctor's just had a 360 for style through T1.
Oh no, we got to try and keep an eye on these as much as we can. So Proctor had himself a little bit of a 360. Let's see if we can at least find it to actually show off.
I will find it.
Okay.
I'll rewind it.
You find it and then we'll bring it back. So the Mazzaroli at the moment leads the way. 0.9 of a second is the gap between him and Tabono at the front of the field. Then it's Sinise and Gowans. They got a nice little tight fight between the two of them going on. Catechisinas, Rosanita, they're swapping and changing positions further back like school kids trading Pokemon cards. 11 and Martin, they're battling inside of the top 10 still too. And then Davison has got Tom Donahue and Mitch Noble. Actually, no, it's not Mitch Noble, sorry. It's Greg Johnson who's a lap down just behind that battle. Be sure to get into the chat tonight as well, guys. Let us know who you want us to keep an eye on. If there's anyone you're following in the field, we'll try and give them as much screen time as possible. Within reason, of course. We don't want to take anything away from the rest of the field, but we will show them off when we can. Kevin Wakefield, hot on the heels of Cam Hardwick, who took his first win, of course, Kevin Wakefield, back at Sebring for the AM class. Great effort from him. You found the incident, Jackos?
I have.
Very good. Let's have a look at this. This was Andrew Proctor. Ooh. Hey, fair play. 10 out of 10. He kept it going, and he put it back onto his racing line as well.
Yeah. Oh, it's raining. The rain is hit.
The rain is hit. As who's that off in the backer? That was Kurt Heath. Drive-through penalty car 024. Contact lap 3 with car 663. That is going the way of Dean Sinkovic. So he's been found at fault for contact with Nick Schmalenberg as the rain starts to fall. Mick Clifton in the chat giving his love to Matt Fu and Kurt Heath. So Matty at the moment P16 up 5. Kurt Heath's up 5 as well on to P27. Kurt, though, struggling on the road on these dry tyres at the moment. Cowie's now been off track too, and that's big damage. That could be a safety car.
Oh, you would think it would have to be. It's on the racing line. On the exit of turn 1, I believe.
Yeah, that is turn 1. Oh, my God. It shot him back across the road.
Very lucky by Vermi not to hit him as he went across the track.
And then Cam Hardwick's had a moment too. Heap of drivers coming in. Gowans, Davis and Donahue. Levin as well. You suspect they're probably going to go straight onto the wets here. Jack Oz, seeing as we are under safety car, it seems. Oh, okay. Bit of a sympathy spin there for Cam Hardwick. So Leakey is looking to exit pit lane in the safety car. We do apologise for any blinking that might be occurring for some cars as well. Not really much we can do about it at the moment, other than closing some apps. At this stage, close this one.
It says Wakefield's is crash. Gerard is blinking for me. Let me try and find Wakefield on track. Oh no, it's also blinking for me. But
yeah, currently the wet is not enjoying this at the moment. We do apologise for this. It is not enjoying. Why is it doing that for? Let's have a look at this. Okay, now it seems to have petered out. So safety car, I believe, has been called out, Jack Oz, if I'm correct.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, okay. So safety car's been called. So we will get our safety car banner up once again. Brad Hudson, Josh King have had a moment together too further back in the field. We do apologise for those blinks. There was not much we can do about that one. It just decides when it wants to crack it with us. It's a shame, but it does happen. Dylan DeBono's in pit lane, so he's looking to change from those dries to wets. Sinise, I would assume, is also going to come in. He is, as Gowans is off the road down in the infield, so he's come out on wets. So they have to be on the wets, Jackos, because of the rain that's now coming down. So they need to try and keep themselves in check.
And Tom Donohue's also had a spin in the back section of the track, going into, I think it's called Bomb Hole.
It is Bomb Hole, that is correct. It is Bomb Hole.
Oh, and there's also another spinner out there. Did not see who that was, unfortunately. I think it was Keegan.
Quite possibly was. So we're just trying to get these.
Brock is off.
We're just trying to get these blinks fixed. This not much we can do. It's processing at the moment. It's currently running at. My CPU's running at 100% apparently, Jack.
So is mine.
Yeah. So there's not much we can do about it. Unfortunately, it's just deciding that it wants to be a pain at the moment. Apart from end tasks at this point on Resource Manager.
Yeah, there's not many more tasks I can close, I'm afraid.
There's not many that I can either. I'm struggling for them. What's weird to me is, though, so iRacing is running at 40%. My CPU's at 100. So
yeah.
Where's the other big chunk coming from? That's what I want to know.
Mine...
This is what I want to try and figure out. So, the effective leader of this race at the moment is, of course, Dylan DeBono. He has been picked up by the safety car. Of course, being driven by Greg Leake at this stage. Out on track. We are scrambling just to fix some of those blinking issues at the moment. Try and get them sorted out as well, so we're not having to deal with them here this evening. Do apologise for those happening as well. Alright, that should hopefully have calmed it down a little bit, but we're still at 100%, so I am not looking forward to when that spray happens and it decides it's gonna hurt me.
They're just letting Jono pass now to unlock himself.
Jono's coming past for his wave around at the moment. I'm just going to very, very quickly just check my iRacing settings, just see if there's anything that I can change to hopefully limit some of this blinking. I've unparked my cores, so it's not my cores that are the issue. So we should be okay. Turn off that.
Wakefield has been let by. It seems that he's still on dry tires.
Particles are low. Everything's pretty much low for what it can be. We could turn cars down to low. That might help.
I'd turn them down to medium first.
I had them on medium.
Ah.
Yeah, I had them on medium. There's not much more I can do really to change it. Anti-aliasing, just turn that off.
The blinking stopped for me. I don't know about stop.
It stopped for me for now, but my worry is the spray's going to come up once again, and then that's going to send it into the moon. So I hope not. I hope we're fine, and I hope it's now sorted itself out. So hopefully we're chilling. Hopefully we're chilling. I've had to shut the chat down, so you might have to look at the chat for us tonight, Jackos.
That's all right.
Let me look at my resource manager.
Loft House has had an incident.
Check my cores. Yep, the blinking's back. Love that. Yep, none of
Martin's
them.
on dries and he's gone off. You would hope that he would maybe go into the lane. He's just gone off in the last corner as well.
He'd have to, but this would be a mistake. So, at the moment, Nick Martin is on dries. The captain of the Seven Seas, Jason Depp, is on dries. Dean Sinkovich is on dries. Lofthouse is in on dries. Wakefield's on dries. Hudson's on dries. And Andrew Cowan's on dries as well. So, it's probably too wet at this point now for those dry tyres. They would have to come in and commit to wets. But the safety car is still rocking and rolling around the circuit. Some drivers working on their wheels at the moment in the back end of things as well.
It's interesting though, because I think that we might actually be at the end of the band of rain pretty soon. So it is quite heavy now, as I've just seen Jason go off. But it's interesting if these guys try and stay out there to maybe mitigate having to come in for that one stop, and essentially get that pit stop time in an advantage.
At the moment, realistically, right, so if it was to run dry, their pit window would have been between lap 21 and lap 34 to get home. It's going to be a struggle for them to get home on this one stop.
Just spun out in front of the field.
Yeah, there he is. He's now. Well, he's just lost his. He's just lost his wave around, hasn't he? As DeBono is once again having the blinks for us here. As Depp is also off the road in the background too. He's also spun round.
Yep, as Josh is just waiting, I believe he's going to the end of the line instead.
As Andrew Cowan is still struggling on these dry tyres. He's had to get it back going again. So for some of these drivers in the field, they did not go to wet tyres when they came into the pit lane. For the majority, they did head out onto wets. The safety car lights are on, but they can't turn them off now because it's raining. So how do we know when the safety cars are going to come in? We'll have to wait. And just wait and see when it pulls away from the field as he leads them round. So Leakey getting plenty of wet practice in the GT4 car, Jack Oz. He'll be a real pro for future races at this point.
Oh, that he will. He's already a couple of spots gained, so... Oh, Wakefield's just spun again. He's still trying to tough it out on those dry tyres, sorry. I'm not sure what the appeal of the dry tyres are for some of these guys.
Well, those dry tyre runners have now come in, and I'm going to assume they are changing to wets. Yes, they are. So Jason Depp's on wets, Sinker's on wets, Martin's on wets. Oh, sorry, no, Johnson's on wets. Is Sinker changing, or is he going to come out back on the dries?
He's still on dries as we speak.
He's only in. He's not actually into his pit box yet. So what's he done? He's only just made it in. He's gone.
Yep, he's gone on a wets.
Yep. So what we assumed would happen for Dean Sinkovich at the moment. So
maybe he was just trying to figure out how to change the tyres to wet.
Quite possibly. Got a heap of drivers in our dual cam here this evening as well. Nick Martin is with us in the Video Ninja, as well as Andrew Cowan. We had Steven Sinkovich in there, but he's not started this race. Callum Rosanita, can he pick a winner tonight? We'll have to wait and see. And then Harry Dodds as well with another new camera angle for himself. This one, though, much better lit for Doddsy. We can actually see his face this time, instead of being encased in darkness as well. Those drivers joining us here this evening, as well as the second camera being controlled by Jack Oz as well. Hopefully, well, it survived last night with the supercars. So hopefully we should be okay with SFLs. I don't understand why it's always the SFL car that has to have a bit of a blinky bill moment for us, as the safety car looks to come into pit lane. So DeBono will have control of the field. He will decide when to lead them away towards the start-finish line. He has to wait, though, for race control's call on when the safety car is in at this point.
I believe Wakefield might have also jumped out of the sim.
Oh, interesting. That would make sense. I think Depp has as well. He's been in pit lane for quite a while. As Jason Depp. Safety cars in pit lane. So De Bono is going to have control. When does he go green flag? Here at Snetterton. Final corner for De Bono. Oh, he's going to be forced to take it slow, but he's gone now. Green flag. He nearly lost it on the restart, Jackals. Ran it wide, of course, but Sinize's already putting the pressure on Jordan Mazzaroli towards turn number 1. As they enter round, Sinize wants an outside line here on Mazzaroli. Oh, De Bono's gone off. It's been a massive blow up at turn 1. Gowans is gone. De Bono's gone too. As is Katakazinas. So Mazzaroli leads the way. Sinize hot on his heels. Davison there too. Levin in the top 5. But a multitude of cars off at turn 1. Cold tyres, cold brakes, wet track. Disaster for those drivers out there off the restart, Jackals. As Darren Fay's also gone off as well.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy, wasn't it? Oh, there's a big crash. 3 cars off at the back straight.
Dodds is one of them as well.
He will not be very happy with that one.
So Mazzaroli still out
had
there
a
ahead of
spin, I believe, as well. He's dropping down the order again.
Yeah, so Faye's down. Gerard is... Oh, my God, Gerard's on his...
Oh, he's upside down.
How has that happened to Matt Gerard? I'm not even going to attempt a replay. He's been allowed to tow because it would have been a blinky replay. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to attempt it.
I will try and see if I can get it without blinking.
Okay. So, Mazzaroli though off the road. So a heap of cars falling by the wayside. Oh, we may have to... Oh, okay. Hopefully this sorts itself out. As Ferguson's also off too. So Sinize now takes the lead. Davison P2. Mazzaroli P3. Noble, Caldwell, Brook for your top 6 cars on the road. Have you found out how he ended up without blinking, Jackals? As
yes, I have. I have got the replay up.
All right, so what's happened to Matt Gerard?
Very stuttery, I do apologise.
Yeah, you know what? We're having a lot of technical difficulties tonight, Jackals. There's not much we can do about it at this stage.
Oh, he's reversed into Fahey, trying to get it further away from the track.
That was the slowest rollover.
Yeah.
We've had some slow rollovers. That might be the slowest one we've ever had, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, that's how Matt Gerard's ended up on his roof at this stage. Unfortunately for him, as Davison still leads. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm having major blinks even flying.
Yeah, I know. All right. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we of course, we don't like to do this, and we don't like to produce a show that is subpar. We only do this in the most extreme of circumstances as well. We are unfortunately going to stop our stream early tonight because the blinking this is not the standard that we would hope for. There's not much we can do about it because unfortunately my process is just deciding it does not want to play ball, and it's getting absolutely bottlenecked. So we do apologise. We will end this race this evening early. We will try and get a replay off of race control because replay broadcasts, as long as they're not getting blinks, they're normally fine because it's based on the actual replay file that we get. So we'll try and accrue a replay file and then we'll redo the stream at some point this week. We do humbly apologise. As I said, we hate to do this and we hate to have to end them early as well, but it's the nature of live broadcasting. It's a live show. There's not much we can do. It has settled for the moment, but the more cars that go off track, the worse it does get. So, yeah, we do apologise. It's not what we want to have happen. And subscribe the bell icon as well. so you're notified whenever we go racing. We've got GR86s coming up tomorrow night. We've got Supercars on Sunday. We'll find a time across the weekend to do it as well. So we do apologise, but we appreciate your time, appreciate you being here with us. I've been Hamish Munro Jack Anderson. We'll keep you guys notified on when the broadcast will happen once again. Although it is looking like it has settled at the moment, Jackals. Do we give it one more try, maybe?
For you, it has. If you have a look
Okay.
at my screen.
Yours. Oh, okay, no, yeah, yours is not that good. Okay, all right. Well, what we'll do is we'll keep going. We'll see how it handles. If it decides to start blinking again, which it is now doing. Yeah, not what we want. Okay, no, all right. So we appreciate your time being here with us today, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologise once again for having to stop it early. It's not what we would want, not what I would want. I hate having to do this, so we'll get a replay off of Race Control as long as theirs is nice and tidy, and we will reproduce the show across the weekend, possibly on Saturday before another broadcast that I have happening. So appreciate you being here with us. So once again, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well. Shout out to all the series sponsors, including Warner Brown Tools for their sponsorship of the Tuesday night Supercars and the Sunday night Supercars as well, and to MOZA Racing for supporting the Super Formula Championship. We want to try and produce the best show possible for them, so that's why we are making the executive decision to do this. To Shannon's Insurance for their support of the Thursday night GR86 Nationals, and as well to other series sponsors, Shunt Scenery, Pheonix Driver Development. Be sure to send a message to them, or Laz or Rehan Leonage on Discord. They'll sort you guys out with some setups for the supercars or some training as well, and as well to Grim Industries Home and the V8 Coffee Table. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here with us once again. So sorry about this, but we'll see you guys tomorrow night when James and Sink are in the booth for the 8.6s. Until then, stay safe, drive hard. Bye for now.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because